third time's a charm. Stem cells hold the promise of treatments and cures for major diseases and conditions that affect millions of people, including diabetes, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, cancer, spinal cord injuries, and blindness. However, embryonic stem cell research poses a moral dilemma. It forces society to choose between the responsibility of easing suffering of people and regarding the value of human lives. Personally, I believe there is better things coming out of this research than there is bad. The use of embryonic stem cells have been highly publicized and controversial. However, the research contributes to the advancement of medical treatment. Embryonic stem cells, as their name suggests, are derived from embryos. They are blank cells that have not yet been classified within the body and can be driven to generate any of the 220 human cells. Most of them result from embryos that developed from fertilized eggs in an in vitro fertilization clinic and then are donated to researchers with the consent of donors. Therefore, clearly they are not derived from eggs fertilized within a woman's body. According to an article entitled Pros and Cons of Embryonic Stem Cell Research, in August 2005, Harvard University scientists announced a breakthrough discovery that fuses blank embryonic stem cells with adult skin cells rather than the fertilized embryos to develop all-purpose stem cells viable to treat diseases and disabilities. Researchers found that adult stem cells are limited in their ability to move forward, while embryonic stem cells can nearly transform into any type of cell in the human body. Adult stem cell research has made many attributes to the medical world, but even in the early stages of development, the potential of embryos is beyond what our minds can grasp. Only time can tell what this research has in store for the medical field, and numerous doctors strive towards a breakthrough. An embryo that has not yet been transferred to a woman's uterus is not a child. Therefore, at this point in development, the embryo does not have the physical traits or emotions of a human being. Harvard researcher Kevin Egan defends the research of embryonic stem cells by saying, "This is not a fetus, it is not a pregnancy. It is grown in a culture, not in a mother's uterus." Science journalist Alison Meyer stated in the article, "Why we need embryonic stem cell research." Scientists obtain these stem cells at the blastocyst stage of embryonic development, about 96 hours after fertilization. The embryos are grown in vitro, cease to develop, and are destroyed after the cells are removed. Closed-minded people constantly shoot down many risky procedures, but without the risk we do not receive the reward. If doctors and scientists don't experiment and study numerous topics, we wouldn't have the treatments and cures that save lives. Embryonic stem cells have major potential. Research of them have doctors believing they hold a cure for a wide range of common disabilities. Studying embryonic stem cells will help us understand how they can transform into specialized cells that make us what we are. Some of the most serious medical conditions are due to problems that occur during the process. A better understanding of cell development may help us one day recognize and correct the faults that cause each condition. Embryonic stem cell research contributes significantly to the scientific understanding of adult stem cells, knowledge that is now being used to research new medical treatments developed by harvested adult stem cells. Most importantly found in adult stem cell medical treatments is the value of using the patient's own stem cells in order to create treatments that will not be rejected by the body's own immune system. On the other hand, an embryo has the chance to become a human being. The controversy of this situation is so highly recognized because the current techniques to collect the embryonic stem cell damage the embryo. For the most part, religious groups target the research in itself. Recently, the Roman Catholics and Protestant churches believe that an embryo should be considered a human being from the moment of conception. Pope John Paul II compared embryonic stem cell research to abortion, euthanasia, and other attacks on innocent life. Yes, the embryos destroyed during research, however the cells are grown within research laboratories. Further research of embryonic stem cells is necessary all over the world. Countless number of people die of incurable diseases each year without any hope for a cure. They struggle with unnecessary procedures while preparing ultimately to die. Meanwhile, highly trained professionals are constantly experimenting with new ideas to give people hope. Although most people believe that embryonic stem cell research is extremely immoral and risky, they have the potential to save numerous lives and cure countless injuries. People have to look at the situation from both sides, either respect the value of a potential life or alleviate suffering of millions of people. There is always a reasonable view from both sides, which is part of the reason why researchers are constantly looking for ways to prevent the death of a studied embryo.